She wasn't on the list. She didn't even reach the front desk without standing on tiptoe. But when 7-year-old Lila Thompson walked into one of the most powerful companies in Seattle clutching a worn leather portfolio, no one could have predicted what would follow. She wasn't there for herself. She came in place of her mother, who lay in a hospital bed fighting for her life. What started as a simple act of love became a spark that would uncover secrets from the past and change the lives of everyone involved. Listen until the end to know what happens next, and please let us know which country you're listening from. Please do subscribe to our channel. The morning sun glinted off the glass facade of Halcyon Dynamics, one of Seattle's most powerful corporations. The air was buzzing with energy as executives streamed through the marble lobby, clutching coffee and briefing folders. But among them stood someone very different. 7-year-old Lila Thompson adjusted her small backpack and gazed up at the 50-story skyscraper. Her honey blonde braids bounced as she whispered to herself, "You can do this, Lila." Clutched in her hands was a worn leather portfolio. Inside were her mother's credentials, printed resumes, and a carefully prepared presentation. Her mother, Monica Thompson, was supposed to be here today, but last night she was rushed to St. Clair Memorial with a severe case of pneumonia. Inside the lobby, Lila approached the reception desk. "Excuse me," she said clearly, standing on tiptoes. "I have a 9 a.m. interview with Mr. Jonathan Pierce. I'm here on behalf of my mom, Monica Thompson." Diana, the receptionist, looked up, stunned. "Sweetheart, where are your parents?" Lila stood straighter. "My mom is in the hospital. She worked all night on this presentation. She really needs this job. Please." Behind them, a tall man in a charcoal suit stopped, his sharp blue eyes narrowing. Jonathan Pierce, CEO of Halcyon Dynamics, had overheard the exchange. "What's going on here?" he asked. Diana hesitated. "Mr. Pierce, this little girl says she's here for her mother's job interview." Jonathan studied the girl. "What's your name, young lady?" "Lila Thompson, sir." A flicker of something passed over his face. He extended his hand. "Come with me, Lila. Let's hear what your mom has to offer." Inside the sleek executive suite, Lila sat in a plush leather chair, her small legs dangling. Sunlight poured through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting light on plaques and magazine covers featuring the stern-faced Pierce. "So, Lila," he said with an arched brow, "tell me about your mom." Lila opened the portfolio with practiced precision. She was a project manager for 8 years at ClearPath Consulting. She has a PMP certification and an MBA. They let her go last month when the company shut down. "Why does she want to work here?" "Because we need health insurance," Lila said simply. "And she says your company helps people." Jonathan was floored. Most adults avoided talk of benefits and salary. This child spoke the truth without flinching. He skimmed through the presentation. It was sharp, detailed, and professional. "Who's taking care of you right now?" "Mrs. Briggs from next door checked on me. But she's old. I can take care of myself. I even make my own lunch." His chest tightened. "Where's your father?" "Gone. He left when I was a baby. It's just me and Mom, but we're a good team." Pierce pressed the intercom. "Tanya, cancel my next meeting and get me the attending physician for Monica Thompson at St. Clair Memorial." "Are we going to see my mom?" Lila asked. He nodded. "We are. I want to meet the woman who raised someone like you." At St. Clair Memorial, nurses bustled as Jonathan and Lila walked the halls. Lila led the way, too comfortable in this sterile environment for his liking. They found Monica in room 317, pale and attached to an fourth. Her eyes widened. "Lila, what are you doing here?" "Mom, this is Mr. Pierce. I went to your interview. He brought me here." Jonathan stepped forward. "Miss Thompson, your daughter gave one of the most compelling pitches I've heard in 20 years. Monica struggled to sit up, flustered. "I'm so sorry. She should have never gone. I meant to call." "She did what she thought was right, and she impressed me. When you're well enough, we'll schedule a formal interview. Until then, please have the hospital billing office call this number." She stared at the card. "I can't accept this. It's an advance. Halcyon takes care of its people." For the next week, Lila became a fixture at Halcyon. Jonathan arranged transport and supervision. She spent afternoons in a spare office next to his, finishing homework and casually offering insights. "You could cut costs by changing your supply chain," she remarked one day. "And where did you learn that?" He chuckled. "Mom thinks out loud a lot. Also, your assistant gives me business magazines. And I still like Batman." By Thursday, Jonathan's entire demeanor had shifted. His assistant, Tanya, noticed. "She reminds you of someone, doesn't she?" He didn't answer. But in his office drawer sat a silver photo frame. In it, his late wife Elizabeth and their daughter Grace, lost 17 years ago. Monica recovered and came for her formal interview. Jonathan offered her the job and introduced a new idea, a flexible schedule program for parents inspired by Lila. But not everyone was thrilled. Cynthia Morell, head of HR, and Walter Langford, an old school board member, accused Jonathan of favoritism and distraction. Later, a Wall Street Journal article leaked confidential details of Jonathan's past and questioned his objectivity. Suspicion fell on Cynthia. In an emergency board meeting held under tense circumstances, Monica stood firm and challenged the ethical implications of the recent media leak that had not only endangered Jonathan's reputation, but also publicly exposed personal details about her own life. Jonathan followed by calmly presenting printed email records and metadata, all clearly proving that the source of the confidential leak was Cynthia Morell herself. "This is not just a breach of policy," Jonathan stated, his voice cold and resolute. "It's a violation of everything this company claims to stand for." Within minutes, the board voted unanimously. Cynthia was immediately relieved of her duties and escorted out of the building by security. Jonathan received a package containing damning evidence. During Langford's tenure as CEO, the company systematically excluded working mothers. One memo even advised rejecting Jonathan's late wife's return to work. Shaken, he showed Monica. They devised a bold move, full corporate transparency. They would publish a report on past mistakes and highlight new policies like Family Forward. At the next board meeting, Jonathan and Monica presented both the past and the progress. Board members were stunned. Walter Langford tried to dismiss the documents as old news. But Monica stood beside Jonathan and countered, "Maybe the times didn't change. You just made sure they didn't." The board deliberated with visible tension before casting their votes. One by one, hands rose around the long, polished table, each nod signaling a definitive stance against the outdated leadership ideals Langford represented. When the final count was tallied, the result was overwhelming. Langford was officially expelled from the board. Gasps, murmurs, and a few relieved sighs followed. With the tension still thick, Jonathan motioned to proceed with the next item. "I propose we make the Family Forward initiative a permanent pillar of Halcyon Dynamics values and operations." The program was officially adopted across the entire organization. For Monica, Jonathan, and the families it would support, this wasn't just a policy change. It was validation, redemption, and the first step in redefining what corporate success could truly mean. Weeks later, Jonathan visited Monica and Lila for dinner. A warm, messy home replaced corporate battles. Lila showed him her science project. They laughed. Monica said softly, "You're different when you're here." "So are you." He confessed, "Halcyon was my identity. But now, I think there might be more." She offered a toast to second chances. Jonathan revealed a new plan, the Reynolds Family Foundation. Its mission? Help companies build family-friendly cultures. Monica would be executive director. Lila would be their child consultant. A year later, in the same lobby where it began, they launched the foundation. Business leaders gathered. Lila passed out flyers, proud. Jonathan took the stage. "One little girl reminded us, family isn't a burden to business. It's our greatest asset." As applause echoed, he turned to Monica, now wearing Elizabeth's silver bracelet. A wedding ring glinted beside it. "Ready for our next adventure?" he whispered. "We were ready the day she walked into your lobby," Monica said. And Lila, wrapping her arms around them both, whispered, "We did it." If a 7-year-old girl can challenge an entire corporation and change a CEO's heart, what quiet act of courage could you take today that might change everything? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what this story meant to you. Please do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for listening to Storyline Narrative.